Well, there's definitely a reason why Amber Heard wants you to forget about all those randos that came out in the final days of the trial, because boy, were they ever damaging to her case and to her credibility. And none of those had quite the power to destroy Amber Heard's narrative as our favorite Slytherin, Morgan Tremaine. In this series, we're going to look at how Morgan Tremaine may have made the best case for a perjury charge against Amber Heard. In this video, we're going to go through the background that led to Morgan Tremaine coming onto the stand on day 22 of the Johnny Depp trial. We're then going to look at the efforts that TMZ made to keep him off the stand. And finally, we'll look at his testimony and the way that he and Camille worked together to deliver an absolute nuclear bomb to Amber Heard's credibility. Before Morgan Tremaine got on the stand, all we really knew about him was that he had some kind of past relationship with TMZ. We had seen during Amber Heard's cross-examination that she was confronted with her prior deposition from 2016 when she inadvertently let it slip out that she may have been working with TMZ to reveal information.
When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
When she was confronted with this prior oopsie, Amber Heard resorted to her fairly standard escape route, which is deny, deny, deny.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
But earlier in the trial, we had also seen that TMZ somehow got a hold of a video that Amber Heard filmed on Amber Heard's cell phone or iPad or something like that, and published it on their website. And then subsequently, folks who were streaming the trial during the time period when that TMZ video was played in court bizarrely ended up with copyright strikes. Not from Amber Heard, from TMZ. When, once again, Amber Heard was confronted with these facts, she denied any involvement and stated unequivocally she knew nothing about it, she had no knowledge, and she didn't have anything to do with it.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
That's correct.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
That's incorrect. I flew in from another place at the time. I remember learning about it when I landed.
So it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
What Camille is alluding to here that didn't necessarily get fleshed out fully in this trial was the central role that TMZ played as part of the propaganda arm of Amber Heard's abuse hoax. It started on May 25th, 2016 when, as Amber Heard referenced in her deposition, TMZ got the exclusive story on her divorce filing against Johnny Depp. Then 2 days later, TMZ was at the courthouse and received some additional information about the domestic violence accusations that Amber Heard was making. This, of course, was a huge story, and TMZ devoted airtime on their show to cover it. But one of the things you notice going back to look at their coverage is that they weren't necessarily believing everything that she had to say. At the very least, they took her accusations with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Like you said, we're told Johnny claims that this is bogus and that these allegations are, I'm not sure he's saying made up, but he is saying...
No, I can tell you, made up, fabricated. I know that Johnny's position is these are fabricated claims, that she actually took Instagram pictures on Sunday, the next day, never showing the injuries.
As the story developed in TMZ, it showed Amber Heard's accusations beginning to fall apart in real time. First, TMZ learned that the LAPD officers who had responded on the May 21st incident had seen no injuries or property damage. Even after perhaps being questioned, being challenged over that, the police remained insistent in their version of what they saw and what they reported. This led to Amber Heard very early on taking the position that the LAPD were lying, that the LAPD was covering for Johnny Depp. At one point, her attorney even maybe overstepped a little and said, oh, well, now Amber is going to go file that police report that she's been threatening. But, you know, Amber Heard probably didn't actually want a police investigation. You know, might find out the hoax. So didn't take very long for her to backpedal away from that one under the guise of, I just love Johnny too much to do that to him. TMZ was also there to publish that cackling image of Amber coming out of her attorney's office the day after the TRO application with not a mark on her face. TMZ was the first to report that Johnny Depp's bodyguards who were present say that she lied about what happened on May 21st. TMZ reported that the building staff from the Eastern Columbia did not witness any injuries on Amber in the days following May 21st. And TMZ broke the story of Amber Heard's 2009 arrest for assaulting her wife at the time, Taja Van Ree, followed by her taking steps to expunge the record of that arrest right around the time she was doing the press tour for the Rum Diary. So in these early rounds of this PR warfare, Amber really didn't come out ahead like I think she thought she was going to with these accusations. So a couple months later, when things were getting into the discovery phase of the divorce, and it was time for Amber Heard to sit for her deposition, the battle started to heat up. First, TMZ reported that Amber Heard had shown up for her deposition but refused to go into the room. And it was later discussed in court and covered by TMZ that she had basically hidden in the next room, screaming and crying hysterically and refusing to go in and testify. Once again, Amber goes, deny, deny, deny. But it's kind of funny because by now it's becoming clear that TMZ has had about enough of her shit. And so when she pretends like she had no idea she was going to be captured by the paparazzi coming into the building, TMZ called her out on this all the way back in 2016. And even back 6 years before the trial in Virginia, Amber Heard was claiming she had medical evidence of abuse that she was going to present in court. But we learned during the trial that this happens to be exactly the same time when she was getting in touch with Dr. Kipper's office to try to get a hold of her notes from the examination she had in December 2015, which, as it turns out, found that she had no injuries whatsoever. Amber's deposition was rescheduled for the following week, but once again, she didn't show for it and offered excuses about some type of emergency and inability to get a flight to be back in time. And coincidentally, right at this time is when TMZ released the kitchen cabinet video. Finally, she sat for her deposition, and as we've seen from the portions of it that have been made public, including in this trial, doesn't look like it really went all that well for her. And so perhaps not surprisingly, in a final temper tantrum, TMZ gets a hold of the photographs of Johnny Depp's severed fingertip from the incident in Australia. Is Amber Heard trying to get out ahead of that evidence coming out against her in a trial, or is it just one final act of vengeance, effort to smear and shame Johnny in the press? Perhaps we'll never know, because the following day the divorce settled, and TMZ once again received the news and reported it. In the following days, when Amber Heard pledged to donate her entire divorce settlement to charity, TMZ was there for that story as well. And in fact, when Johnny Depp just a week later honored her donation by making those payments directly to the charities named, yep, TMZ had the story. As well as Amber Heard's not so generous response to this act of convenience by Johnny. Now, of course, she insisted she had her reasons for demanding that the divorce settlement be paid to her directly, but you know, TMZ was still around a few months later when Children's Hospital of Los Angeles hadn't received their donations. But once again, Amber thinks I can just use my words as magic to wave away these realities, and so she informs TMZ, among others, that no worries, the donations will be done by the end of 2018. I wanted to go through this background not just to bring us up to speed with where we were at in the trial process, but also to provide some context for TMZ's actions when they learned that Morgan Tremaine was going to be a witness. Because I don't know about you, but when I look through this history of coverage, I don't really see an organization that has a very high opinion of Amber Heard. Frankly, it looks to me like they kind of saw through her bullshit really early on. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go into the next video, where we're going to take a look at TMZ's motion to intervene in order to prevent the testimony of Morgan Tremaine. Join me there.